Hi, this is Dr. Ivan Meisner, founder and chairman of BNI. Welcome to Leadership Team Training. There are four things that I want to talk about briefly here before you start your leadership team training. They are the leaky bucket theory of education. I want to talk about piloting. I want to talk about goals, and I want to talk about leadership teams. Those are the four things. So let's start with the leaky bucket theory of education. I learned years ago when I started BNI that education is a leaky bucket. We started training leadership teams in 1986. Before that, what I did was I trained the first generation of leadership team people, and I had them train the next generation, and then they trained the next generation, and that's where I discovered the leaky bucket theory of education, where when one person trains somebody else, some of the information leaks out. It can't all stick. And so it leaks out. And when that person then trains someone else, more leaks out. And when you get to the third or fourth generation, you end up having basically a half a bucket of information. Well, what happens when that happens? Well, what happens is people start throwing their own stuff in, and you end up with something completely different. I'll never forget going to a BNI meeting once, and I'm telling you, I had no idea it was a BNI meeting, except they all wore BNI badges and they called me the founder. Other than that, it didn't look anything like a BNI meeting. And I realized that that was because of this leaky bucket concept of education. And so we started doing leadership team training just a year after I started BNI. So started in 1985. By 1986, we started doing the leadership team training. So how does piloting come into play? Well, I'm talking about piloting like an airplane. Would you want to fly? This is a rhetorical question. I'm guessing the answer is going to be no. Would you want to fly an airplane where the pilot did not complete training and education? No, of course not. But you as the leadership team, you are the pilots, co-pilots, the navigators of your local chapter. And that's why training is so incredibly important. You want to be trained on how to run an effective meeting so that it can be as successful as possible. The biggest commitment for a BNI member is their time. And the more effective that time is utilized, the better the success of the individual chapters. So you're the pilots, co-pilots, navigators. This training is really, really important. Also important is for you to sit down and set some goals for your chapter. Where do you want to be 6 months or a year from now? What's your average number of members per chapter? How much business do you want to be generating? Sit down. You can't hit a target you're not aiming at. So you've got to aim at some targets. And here I would really advise that you have a conversation with your BNI director. They can help you in individualized goals for your specific chapters because all chapters are different on where they're at in the process. So talk to your BNI director. And lastly, leadership teams. This is a team. If you work together as a team, you can have a huge impact on your chapter. What you do makes a huge difference in people's lives. You can help people in this economy and any economy to be successful through referral marketing and networking by understanding how to use BNI more effectively. Work together as a team and use your BNI director as part of that team. They can help you have a successful chapter. Different people, different places, different races, different religions, different countries, different cultures. We all speak the language of referrals. We all want to do business with people we know and trust. And we want to do it in the context of the philosophy of giver's gain. That if I help you, you'll help me, and we'll all do better as a result of it. And that's the power of the philosophy of this organization. Again, I want to thank you for coming to leadership team training. It shows a real commitment on your part, and I hope you get plenty out of it today. Make sure to stay in contact with your local director. They're there to help you. This is Dr. Ivan Meisner, founder and chairman of BNI. Thanks for watching.